trust on BBC Radio 1.
In new music we trust on BBC Radio 1.
Trust us to bring you the best new music
from across the UK and from around the world.
Ladies and gentlemen,
in new music we trust
on BBC Radio 1.
Stop.
Now.
Let's go.
Many, many thanks to Phil Taggart for BBC introducing. Yes, it's the old school show, the final old school show ever. And we've got a big one tonight. We have the Executioner. The nine-time award-winning best DJ in drum and bass, Andy C, is coming up a little bit later. Can't wait for that. Old school all the way tonight. And we're kicking off with a classic, a killer, sound of Ed Rush and Optical on V Records. From back in the day, little thing entitled Funktion. It's Fabio. It's Radio 1. old school pressure. All about the old school tonight. Yes, we have Andy C, the man himself, coming in real soon. Going to be playing his favourite old school tracks. Looking forward to that. In the background you can hear Ed Rush and Optical. Their first and only venture on V Records. A track entitled Funktion from about the year 2000. Big up to Ed Rush and Optical. I know they've got some new stuff in the pipeline. Saw them guys recently and they told me they've got a couple of albums coming out, so big up to them guys. Right, so the first half an hour we're gonna roll out, play you some of my favourite old school tracks.
Hey, yo, right now we're going in with a classic.
So I am going back to 1990. I love this track, man. Sometimes when you do old school gigs, you go back in your pile and you forget tunes and you found tunes you've forgotten about. This is the Cleptomaniacs, track entitled Positive Thinking. Love this track, man. If you're old school, you'll be feeling it. Bad boy business. It's Fabio. Andy C coming real soon.
Peace.
tune. Does it every single time. Johnny L and the incredible Hurt You So on XL Records from back in the day, and before that you had the sound of the Cleptomaniacs and a track entitled Positive Thinking. You know, because old school's not only about old school jungle, because just before jungle all that was happening, and it's as important as jungle is really. And trust me, 1990 was a long time ago now. That's proper old school business. Right, jumping forward a little bit to about 97, 98, the sound of Shy FX, a man who's doing incredibly well at the moment. He's label Digital Soundboy, smashing it, producing Yasmin. He's got her latest track, produced her latest track, Light Up the World, doing stuff with Doneo and Dizzy Rascal, absolutely smashing it. Is this Shy's finest moment? It might well be. The sound of Shy FX and Bambaata. We are getting deep in the jungle. Sending this one out to Kenny Ken, who came on and smashed it on the last old school show. Wow, that was one of the best shows of the last couple of years. Big up to Kenny, also to Randall. Also big up to Food Junkie, Funky Flirt, Uncle Doug's, DJ Die, Ronnie Size, DJ Crust, the whole Full Cycle camp. Big tune. The sound of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and a track entitled Drowning. Proper old school dubplate quality on that one. Gotta send a big shout to all the places where we used to go and cut music. I'm sure me and Andy C will talk about that a little bit later. I don't think, if you listen to any jungle show, the words music house is always mentioned. Of course, where we used to go and get our dub plates cut. So big up to Leon, everybody that used to represent at the legendary music house. I remember getting this dub cut there, waiting in a line for 8 hours. The young Randall Kenny Ken groove, like first come, first serve. That's the way it used to go down. Remember Andy C, the executioner, the multi-award winner. He is going to be up in the place real soon. Until then, hold a little piece of this. The sound of Wax Doctor. What a producer he was. Many great Wax Doctor tunes, atmospheric funk, Kid Caprice, you know, I could have played any of them, but I went for that track. That was one of his last tracks and one of his lesser known tracks, but one of his best ones. Going out to everyone that used to attend the Source nightclub down there in Oxford. Big shout to DJ Lee, Brillo, all the guys. Wicked stuff. Right. Groove, we're still doing a show invasion for this show. I think it's rather apt. The Rider has picked a track for us. Let's hear what track it is.
Back up, back up, back up. It's time for the Grooveriders show invasion.
All right, Fab, now you asked me to whip out an old school, eh? All right, then I've gone in some Adam F. I don't know if you got this one lined out, but this is called Jaxx. I don't know if you remember this, but it's Fire by Adam. Check it out.
tune. Adam F. Jaxx. I think that's from the Colours album. Big shout going out to Adam F. Everyone involved with BBK. Respect to the mans. Right, a few Facebook shouts. Big shout going out to Rooney Khan. It says it's Sunday night and Monday morning and my neighbours will probably be complaining because of my TV pumping away to the tunes. Keep it up, boys. Gerald Lacey said, mad love to Fabio and the Rider. Vincent Interior says, love the show. Aaron Morgan says, we'll be locked on. Give us a shout. Give us a shout out in work on a night shift till 6 a.m. We'll be needing some big tunes to get me through. And last but not least, Robert McCullum says, mad love to the D&B Dons. Salute from Philly, NYC and Portland. Right, Andy's coming up real soon. He's just getting his tunes together. Remember, Andy C's coming in for the old school, some old school business. Can't wait to hear what Andy's got in store for us. In the meantime, sound of a guy called Gerald, 28 gun bad boy. sound of The Invisible Man and the bell tune on Good Looking Records. What a classic. Before that, you had the sound of Carlito and Addiction, Just Wanna Be. That's very reminiscent of the early Swerve days down there at the Velvet Rooms in Tottenham Court Road. What a night that was. I think we was in there for 3 years, and that was one of the biggest tunes of the late 90s. One of the early Liquid tunes, Just Wanna Be, Carlito and Addiction. Big shout going out to my boy Addiction. Yes, yes, yes. What? Talking about what a tune. It's all what a tunes tonight. I'm drawing them out.
What mask shall I don today?
The sound of the Grooverider. And a proper classic. I love this tune so much. I'm going to rewind it halfway through. It's that good. One of Grooverider's greatest moments. Remix. I can't remember who done the original, but it doesn't really matter, because this was Grooverider's moment. Track entitled Charade. Wow, what a tune. We have got Andy C here, and he's coming up real soon. He's just sorting out his tunes, as Andy does. He's very precise. But until then, we are rolling out. sound of Lemon D. A track entitled Subphonic. Little known track. I remember Grooverider used to play this at Metalheadz. What a tune. The mighty Lemon D. Big up to Lemon D and Dillinja. Right, as you know, I think we've got one more show. We've got one more show after this. And when they said to me, look, we need someone in for the old school. We had Kenny in, Kenny smashed it. There's only one name that could have been taken out of that hat. And he's here. What is up, Andy C?
Good evening, sir. How you doing?
Not too bad, man. Good to see you. You know what? I haven't seen you for a little while. We see each other every now and again.
Yeah.
Actually, we see each other more in the studio than
it was in the
else.
studio, and then the last time was at Swerve. I think you was doing a special at
Oh,
Swerve.
right, yeah. And you came down with
we had a good night.
Wilkinson and them guys.
We came down with all the crew that night. That's when we had the Ram takeover, and we all come down Swerve to have a party.
Man. And you know what? One of the highlights of my career, I got Andy C busting some moves on the dance floor. Serious, man. I know Andy, he might not want me to kind of like tell everyone.
The memory's a bit blurry about
that. I thought it might be. WIE came on. Oh. Andy and Marky were doing a little shuffle in the middle of the floor, and I thought, you know what? I can give up tomorrow. Do you know what I'm saying?
What a great vibe. Wednesday night special, man.
Damn, that was a big night, man. Mm-hmm. That was a big night. Mm-hmm. So how you keeping, man?
Really good, thanks, man. Yeah. You know, can't believe we're in March already. Spent the whole of January in Australia. I was out there with GQ, who's having a great tour out there. And then been back. February's flown by. You know, we've been touring the live show. We've been.
How's the live show going, man?
It's going fantastic, man. It's really good. We just had Bristol last weekend, and Brixton Academy the weekend before that in Cambridge. It's been going amazing, man. So just on the road, going to US with it, taking it overseas.
Why are you doing the live thing? Is it something that, is it kind of just a feeling inside? Look, I've been DJing for a long time.
Well, it's not live. It's called Alive. It's like a sort of celebration of the DJ. You know what I mean? So it's like taking the music and the show onto a bigger platform, you know, and it's just expressing our music and just taking, you know, my DJing vibe to, you know, trying to take it to
another
a new
level
dimension. Yeah, you know, trying to work it, and the technology's out there now. We've been able to invest a lot of time of effort, you know, a big team behind it, and it's taken a year, but we've got it so that everything that you see happens, nothing's synced, everything's happening in real time.
Wicked.
You know, I can go musically where I want, with the visuals where we want, you know, and it's just, yeah, it's really a different vibe. It's exciting though, you know. So it's like you always got to try new stuff. You know what I mean?
Especially nowadays, because of course, you know, as we're going to kind of go back to the Roller Express days when things were simple, weren't they? You cut dubs, you played them out, and that was it. Now it's things have stepped up in the last 2-3 years. You know, you've got to take yourself a little bit more seriously as a DJ, and you know, the kids. They've got to the stage where they just don't want the same old thing anymore, and I think, you know, doing this, you know, it's not even elevation. I just think for you, it's a challenge, maybe.
That's right. Yeah, I always want challenges. You know, we've been in the game a while now, man. It's always about challenging. When it was, you know, it was learning how to make tunes, learning how to mix,
of course,
learning how to do it on 3 turntables.
Well, I never got to that. That never quite happened with me. I'm still working on that.
I remember the first time I tried that, man. It was just, anyway, that's.
Actually, let's speak about that. Where did you get the idea from? Because it's a unique thing, and it's something that only real natural DJs can learn to do.
Yeah.
And the only person that I ever saw do that before, and he'd done it just amazingly, was the mighty Carl Cox.
Of course, yeah, Carl.
Who just he does
like the original 3-deck done, wasn't he? I remember he was on flyers. I think me and Red One were handing out flyers with his name on it, with the 3-deck set on it. So
really,
that's how far back that goes. But I mean, the vibe for it, it's just adding another instrument into the game, you know. It's just exciting to try new stuff, you know. And I was finding, you know, the queue time, you know me, man, I'm like, next tune in. So I'm like, the queuing times was getting a little bit, you know, I was sweating a bit too much, man. So putting the 3rd deck in there, you can just, you know, you can get the tune ready to go and get it in the mix. And you just got to find a little strategy for it. Like I said, first couple of times was a bit of a nightmare, but we worked through it. And the first show was at Brixton Academy for I think it was One Nation back in
No
the days.
way,
No,
man.
no pressure. You know what I mean? Just a sold out show at Brixton Academy.
Places like One Nation back in the day, if you messed up, man, they'd let you know about it.
This is it. And and everyone stood there as well watching, going, go on then, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? It's like, but it was good. I really, I always enjoyed doing stuff, and that's, I guess, the Alive concept has sort of come out of that, that want to try something new and to express, a new way of performing the music.
Of course, man. Now, Ram Records as well. It's incredible where Ram has gone from the early days of tracks like Cold Fresh Air and stuff like that. And now Ram is a major force in music. It's amazing to see, people like Chasing Status, going up for a Brit Award and stuff like that.
That was a brilliant one.
That must have been a crazy moment for you, because you signed the guys back in the day, and how did you feel about that, man?
I felt incredible. I mean, at Ram, there's everybody's put in so much hard work, real team effort from back in the day.
Of course.
And it continues to be that way, and we've got some incredible artists. And and when artists like Chasing Status, when they sort of, you meet up with them and you have discussions about possibly doing an album, and they actually fulfill,
of course,
all of that potential.
Absolutely.
And they meet every deadline, and they really do explore their heads and minds musically, and they're not afraid to break down barriers and do different stuff. I mean, you see the fruits of their labour. It was incredible. They're up for a Brit. I think they sold 500,000 albums last year, touring around. I mean, they are a real force, and we hope that we can go pretty much, we hope that we can develop, all the artists that we've got into that kind of bracket. Obviously, not everybody's going to get there, because it does take a lot of hard work and dedication, but that's what the label's about. It's a platform for artists, and we try and give them that platform.
Quickly before we play the first tune, I've just got to, I remember when Chasing Status did the thing at Maida Vale, and they were, they were raw. They were doing kind of like a live thing with Kano and them guys, and I saw a Red One there, and it's really funny, because then it was really the start of that whole, look, we're going to take Ram to another level now. There was a lot of hard work. Plan B was there as well.
Plan B was there,
and I think he was wearing a kind of shell suit. I'm not sure. If I remember
he was
rightly.
there doing pieces.
He was doing pieces.
They did Take Me Away, didn't they?
Yeah, they did Take Me Away. They done Pieces, and I think they did Street Life, maybe
Street Life, or Smash TV. Rage was on the mic. I remember it. Yeah,
that was a crazy day.
When you think the trajectory since then,
that's
do you
what
know
I mean.
What I mean, to where it is now, it's
and
amazing.
That wasn't that long ago. That wasn't that long ago, man.
No,
it doesn't feel to me like that long ago, and now it's kind of like, wow.
I mean,
anyway,
the guy's put in an incredible amount of groundwork before that. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, so it was just a case of us helping them propel them. You know what I mean?
But I think it was a good fit, because they work hard, and I think you need that ethic if you're going to be moving. Elevating Ram, you need people that are going to meet their deadlines and are going to kind of challenge or push the boundaries out.
That's right.
Man.
That's right. It's progression, isn't it?
And everyone's feeding off that, man. And we're gonna to talk more about Ram and Wilkinson, who's just smashed it, and not only them, Mind Vortex and everyone you got coming through right now, man.
Excellent.
It's you're moving on to the next phase. But I have got to play Cold Fresh Air, a track that I always think you made and you didn't.
No,
but I tell you why, because I always remember. I don't know if it's the first time I met you. It was at Roller Express. I think it was the day DJ Rap got engaged to MCMC.
No.
Seriously, it was that day.
I remember that.
It was that day, Andy.
Oh my God, yeah.
And you came up to me, man, and you went, look, I've got a track. I think you're going to be feeling it. It's quite stringy and stuff like that. And
it's Ant Miles and DJ Rhythm.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
And do you know what? To this day, man, this tune is just
Higher Sense. What a smasher, man.
What an absolute smasher.
Yeah.
We have, man, just that intro just kills me. We got the mighty Andy C in the house, and it's a pleasure to have him on one of my last shows, doing the old school special. We're going to talk more about Ram, more about Alive, more about what Andy thinks about the whole scene, the whole dubstep thing, moving it on, 2012, what's going to be happening for him. So keep it tuned, keep it locked. It's Fabio and the mighty Andy C. of Higher Sense and a track entitled Cold Fresh Air. What a track. Anyway, Andy, look, I've never asked you this before, man. What got you into DJing?
It was that gentleman there, Mr. Red One.
Oh, really?
Going out to one of the parties he was putting on called Imagination in Bishopsgate in London, and I went down there. I think I was I 50? Young.
Yeah.
Anyway, fake ID, but I got in, and there was a DJ on the decks called Just Jones, and he dropped this tune called "The Beast" by Revolution or something like that I actually bought years later in Unity in Soho.
Yeah, Unity Records, man.
I found it. But that tune there, just the build up and the way it dropped and everything and the reaction of the crowd, I just stood there and I just, had one of them epiphanies where I'm looking and I'm like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That is what I want to do. And that was the week after. I'm ringing Scott up and I'm like, so record decks, what record decks do I buy? How much money do they cost? And I ended up going into Gray's and to a disco shop and bought a pair of Cytronic belt drive decks.
No way.
Yeah, man. Yep. Didn't have a DJ mixer either. I had just ones with the up and down fader, so I didn't have a crossfader. And I had 2 channels for each deck, left and right. Yeah.
So how did you teach yourself, man? Like, all right,
all night. I reckon my schoolwork suffered a bit, but I was up all night just mixing, just having a mix, just trying to work it out, isn't it? Because you have to realise that you've got cue points and you've got to find the first beat of the bar and all them kind of things. And until you get them, as soon as you know that, then you're off and running. Then it's all about the rhythm that you got in your head and if you can keep the time in between the 2 tracks. But before then, it's a bit of shot in the dark.
So you know what? It's funny. Technically, do you do the same things that you taught yourself back in the day? Has there been a lot changed, or technique-wise, you do the same thing, don't you?
Well, maybe. I mean, it used to push and pull the decks a little bit too much. It was when, it was like, back in the day, and learning how to ride the pitch, because everybody knew Randall used to ride the pitch down at AWOL and stuff like that. Yeah. And when you get them, you work that out and then you teach yourself that, because it takes a lot of willpower not to touch the,
of course,
to touch the deck, and to trust the pitch.
Yeah.
But you start riding the pitch up and down, and then you kind of get a feel for it, and you can leave it for a little while. It won't go out, you kind of have to trust that as well. It doesn't have to be perfect all the time. You can leave it for a little while. It's best to leave it. The less you move it, the better off you are. Yeah,
you know what though? You know what? That is... You're so right. It's a psychological thing, and that's what I learned over the years. Because you just got a habit of moving the pitch. Sometimes it's just force of habit. You just think it's going out a little bit. I've got to, and a lot of the times you just leaving it just kind of like melds back in. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just funny because I've seen you DJ, and you know what? It's really funny because a lot of people do say things like, does Andy pre-prepare his mixes? And I'm like, look, come on, man. This guy,
that vicious rumour.
That is crazy. Do you know
what? Somebody started. I think somebody started that, and that caught on. I mean, it's like that would take more time
to do
than to learn how to mix.
Naturally doing it. Yeah. And I said to them, look, you need to see this guy, because what you do, right? And I'm not just saying this because you're here. It's unique. I mean, I watch you DJ, and I get exhausted just watching you mix. Even the last time I was at RAM, I played for you guys about 3 months ago, and it's 3 hours. Where do you ever get, because you never look like it, do you ever get to a stage where you think, oh, I'm so tired?
No.
I've never seen that with you, and Carl Cox is the only other person that never looks tired, always looks like he's up for it, man.
But the vibe is, it's like I could mix in, at home in the studio for 5-6 hours, no sweat during the week. So when I'm out in the clubs, I'm getting to do it in front of people that are dancing and having a good time with a huge sound system. I mean, what could be better? And I generally find, as you get the further you get into the set, you relax a little bit, you start vibing, you understand the crowd, you're looking at different sections of the crowd, and you work out what that group of people over there like, the group on the balcony what they like, the group at the front what they like, and you kind of try and take them all on their own little journeys, and you work that out as the set goes on. So I feel relaxed after about an hour. That's when I'm really getting relaxed into it.
I'm learning a lot from you today. You know what I mean? I'm making little notes here. But anyway, we're going to play your first track, which is State of the Art.
Yes.
Tell us about this track.
This track is just like, I just drew this out because you was like, look, bringing some old tunes out. And this tune reminds me of one of my really personal defining moments of when I thought, I'm a DJ. And I was playing at Voodoo Magic in Equinox, Leicester Square.
Legendary night.
Absolutely legendary. And Rob Playford, Moving Shadow, made me resident of the night. And, and back then, I'd made a couple of tunes, but I wasn't really, well known as a DJ. And I was put in amongst, all you guys. Yeah. And I think I played after Bookham.
Right.
Which was huge, you know what I mean? And I think Kenny was on after me or something. 5-0 was MCing. And this was my last tune. Because this was just one of my favourite tunes, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to play this.
Just going to draw it
exactly,
out.
And this is state of the art, and this is Dillinja under a different guise.
Wow!
And this has just got pure vibes, man.
Wicked, man! Wow, this tune is so sick. Might have to draw a little rewind on this. State of the art, big tune. Send this one out to 5-0, to LTJ Bookham, to Kenny Ken, to Rob Playford. All the old Moving Shadow, Massive, Sasha. Sickness. The mighty Andy C in the Hizzle. You know what, Andy? Kenny came on the show, right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing about old school is now there is such a back catalogue and you forget tunes, don't you?
Yeah.
And Kenny came on, he played stuff like Soul Promenade by Only Trio.
Yeah.
Tunes I'd forgotten about, man. And this tune, I remember Ryder used to play this a lot. This is a real Ryder tune, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he used to play this tune a lot, man, and I've completely forgot about this tune. What an incredible choice, man.
Well, if you play it down Swerve, you'll see me on a dance floor again.
So anyway, look, let's talk about now, really.
Yeah.
There's been a lot happening in drum and bass. A lot has changed. What do you think about the whole kind of dubstep explosion and the whole way kind of everyone's had to reassess what they're doing? Do you think that the dubstep thing was a good thing for D&B?
I think any music that comes to the fore, any new genre of music that comes to the fore is good for all the other musics around it. It kind of lifts everybody up, you know, it makes everybody check what they're doing, makes people try new stuff. And, you know, anything that advances our music in, you know, the bass music, you know, electronic dance music, whatever you want to call it, as a whole is good. because we all got carried along on that wave, you know what I mean? And the artists that have done it from our scene has been fantastic. I mean, Chasing Status, you know, defined a
whole
big
thing.
style with Eastern Jam.
Yeah.
You know, Nick did it on his album. And I love any explosion of new music because it just makes, you know, it's fresh and invigorating, isn't it? You know what I mean? So you draw influences from it and then you put it into your own genre.
Listen, I think it was very brave of you, actually, to do the whole Eastern Jam thing. And not only that, the stuff with Kano as well, because you gave Chasing Status that license to really do what they want. And in a funny sort of way, they've started this whole eclectic thing where it's like very mashup. It's kind of like what it was back in the
I think
Acid
they
House
was
days.
definitely one of the first.
One of the first,
really
maybe not the first, but if you're talking about, you know, that whole thing on an album, on a kind of like, you know, doing an album like that.
Yeah.
You know, with Kano and an album with Eastern Jam and then, you know, like some D&B. And I think the kids nowadays, where back in the day when we used to do the voodoo magics and you used to get people just loving the drum and bass, things have changed.
It was very tribal, wasn't it? People like Tony.
Very tribal.
You know, back in when it all started out, it wasn't. So we've kind of come full circle, right?
Absolutely.
So now everybody likes a bit of everything, and you know, I play on. You know, we all do so many multi-genre lineups, and the rave will be going off the same way.
Same
for
way,
all
bruv.
the different genres.
Same way, man.
Which is fantastic. It's variety, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
And I think maybe, you know, you do the raves and you've been doing it for years, and I think now it is good that you can come on after someone who's playing something completely different, because in a way, you know, you can make your stand differently. You don't have to worry about
exactly.
anything.
You don't have to worry about what's gone on the rest of the night, who's played what. You just come in there and you smash out D&B and just give it, you know, a power hour, you know, and do it.
Man, and it works, man.
It's all good because we've still got our own drum and bass specific nights going on, as is every other scene, you know.
Absolutely.
So all it's doing is spreading the music far and wider, as far as I'm concerned.
And also, the first time when you heard Eastern Jam, what did you think?
I thought it was like, they came down, the guys actually came down to Ram Christmas party at the end.
Yeah.
One of the last Christmas, probably the last Christmas party, because we finished it the year after. But they came down there. They just come out the studio. I was being thrown out of their studio, so it was like one of the last studio sessions they was ever going to have in that current studio.
Right.
And Saul was like, you know, we were standing at the front door and we was having a chat, and they was going to go on and play later. And then they're like, look, we've made this tune, man, and it's kind of, I think it's, you know, it's sounding really, really heavy, you know what I mean? They went on, they played it, got rewound 3 times.
Seriously?
At Ram Christmas Party.
What, the first time they ever played it?
I think, yeah, it was when it's got first time they played it, Ram Christmas Party. They come down, drew it out, 3 rewinds. I mean, what can you say to that?
And you thought, whatever.
And you're playing it in, you know, like our night at the end.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
With this drum and bass.
Yeah, no, for real.
But it had a vibe, and you can't deny a vibe. If tune's got vibes, it's got vibes. It's good music,
isn't it? Doesn't matter how slow or fast it is, really,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, Screwface, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about
Screwface, man.
Not the anger.
No, not at all.
Let's keep,
you know what I mean?
Oh, this is another one that I pulled it. This reminds me of Wax Club Telepathy and them days, and being, you know, playing
Wax Club, man.
Jungle Fever and all them days with them guys. And this just reminds me of actually, I remember when Sting, the promoter down there, sort of said, look, there's this new MC guy and I want him to go on your set tonight. See what you think. You know, let me know. His name's Stevie Hyper D.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's like, look, you know, I mean, you know, and we just went on and it just smacked. And this reminds me of them, that era, you know, standing outside the Wax Club, waiting to, because I used to go down there from 10 till 6, basically waiting for somebody not to turn up, you know, and that was the way that I got the gig. It's like, wait for someone not to turn up, get paid between 30 and 40 quid. If I'm lucky, and then, you know, I get to play the tunes that I love.
And let's get it straight. Wax Club was gangster.
It was a little bit, yeah. It has to be said. It was a little bit intimidating standing up. I think I was 16 at the time, so it was a little bit intimidating. Do you know what I mean? But it was sink or swim.
Vibes, man.
You know,
Absolutely.
you got a vibes of party. That was the best training I could have ever had.
Absolutely,
for wanting to keep the party bubbling. Do you know what I mean? Because you had to go on and do the business.
And I think it's sad that DJs can't come through like that anymore. Do you know what I mean? That there's an innocence.
You really had to earn your stripes.
You really did, man.
You really did.
And you know what? It's really funny because the more you've got against you, the more, if you can turn it around, the more love you get. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think you get a personal satisfaction. So it gives you confidence, doesn't it? At the end of the day,
man.
So that playing in that club there, you know, gave me the confidence to go to clubs all around London, then around the UK, and then on to the rest of the world. Do you know what I mean? I'm glad I didn't play it like that.
You would have got struck.
That's for
Ricky.
effect.
We've got Andy C in the house. This is another killer that I haven't heard.
This is Brainkillers, Screwface.
Yeah,
what
man.
a tune!
What label did this come out on?
This was on Third Party. Yeah,
That's
I played
right.
this out last year a couple of times, and it still smashes it, man.
Because it's got that energy, man. It's got that power.
It's the intro.
Yes,
It's gonna
sick.
smash. Yep.
Andy C in the house. We're going to try and jump through the tracks because we are running out of time, man, which is crazy. Check this out, man. Proper old school. Reminds me of the Wax Club and Crowland Road and Telepathy. Proper things, man. Screwface. Third Party. Gangster. Sound of Screwface, Brainkillers on Third Party. What a label that was as well, man.
What I mean, you know, I bring in the future.
The future.
There was
what
so many.
sick
Yeah,
tune.
that used to remind me every time that drops. The corrugated iron walls of the Wax Club used to vibrate. That bass, that 808 on that with the Amen. Yeah, absolute. Yeah, killer tunes.
The funny thing is, as well, the people that made these tunes, I don't even know who they are. Can you remember who made these tunes?
No, to be fair,
I don't know.
These tunes just come out the blue, didn't they?
They
I mean,
used to just come out,
For
used to
me,
get
they was like, I mean, a couple of them I managed to get on dub plate. I think not until later on because I was doing the rounds of the record shops with Hype and Brocky, and going to like all the record stores and getting the white labels.
Yeah.
So that you didn't really, didn't have a connection really.
Listen, also another big change for you in the last year. You know, you're now doing the Serato thing, yeah?
Tractor.
You're doing Tractor.
Yes.
And, you know, you've been doing the vinyl thing for so long.
Yeah.
But, you know, alas, you know, things move on. And you
That's
know,
right.
And we all love vinyl, and we all kind of pay homage for years and years of buying dub plates and stuff like that. How are you finding Tractor, man?
I'm finding it very, very reliable, to be honest with you. And I know when I turn up in a country that my records are going to be there with me. Do you know what? It was the whole... I was doing it for a live, right? So I was learning it, and I had it at home, and I was learning it in the studio, and we was rehearsing with it. But the real crunch came. I went to Copenhagen with GQ, and we turned up to this big festival in Copenhagen, and none of my records turned up. And literally the only way I can play in front of thousands of people is to use Tractor. But I didn't have a box with me, I didn't have anything. I had the program, and I had some tunes in my iTunes folder. So the guy goes and gets me a little box, you know, an Audio 4 box, and basically I was backstage in a tent, and I tethered the sound guy's mobile phone to my thing, downloaded the drivers for this box, and downloaded the software, installed it on my computer. This is at 5 to 11, and I'm on at 11 o'clock. Installed the drivers via 3G download, yeah, put them on my computer, picked a bunch of tunes that I thought I would want to play, chucked them in Tractor, went up on stage, plugged it in, it just worked.
Are you being serious?
I swear to God, that's how it happened.
And that's the first time you ever played it?
That's the first time I ever played a set on it. I hadn't even done it at home. Like, and it was just like, GQ's looking at me, and he's like, can you believe what is going on? And I was like, it's just working. I was expecting any minute the whole thing to crash, because everyone's like, oh, it crashes, you know, it does this, it does that. Didn't work like a dream. Absolutely worked like a dream. So, and then following on the week after that, I went to America to do a tour. I took my records again, took my dubs, because I was like, you know, still not in that place where I'm, you know, ready to do it. So I took my dubs, but this time I took a box with me, and the records never turned up.
See what I mean?
Only one box turned up. In the last year, it's weird. I had this amazing run of luck where they'd always turn up, and then in the last sort of year, 18 months, 6 or 7 times they didn't turn up. And when I got to America, I was doing Burning Man Festival, I was doing LA. I was doing a bunch of big parties, and you've got to perform. It's not like, you know, everyone else turns up and performs. Yeah. So it was basically out of necessity that I had to do it. You know what I mean? And now I have, you know, I'm sort of comfortable with it. Yeah, I was thrown in at the deep end with it, but I really enjoyed it. You know, it's something different. It means I've got every record I've got with me, absolutely. So I can draw for some, you know, left field choices.
And plus, not only that, you know, you have paid your dues, and I think, you know, that's what the whole vinyl thing. I think if you've paid your dues, and you know, people don't understand. It's not only that your records jump quite a lot, your records don't turn up, people spill stuff on your records. Yeah. You know, and
when you cut one off dubs, and if they've got to jump in them, they've got to jump in them.
They've got to jump in them. There's nothing you can do about it.
I knew I had a dub plate of Babylon. And one of my other ones, they just had the jump in the same place, and every time I play it, G would be like, man, what is up with the jump in that tune? I'm like, that's just where it is. Yeah. So I knew I could mix up to that point and then
you've got to mix out.
But that's all part and parcel. It's not like, you know, you pay your homage, you got to work with whatever platform you're comfortable with. Of course, do you know what I mean? And still now, that's why I use that, is because I love DJing on the decks. For me, it's a physical thing. Of course. You know, everyone else is comfortable with what they're comfortable. I know Carl, when I was out in Ibiza with him, he's doing it off a USB stick, right? You know, and everybody's doing their own thing, CDJs, whatever format you want. As long as you're putting on the party and you're playing the tunes right, it's all good.
Also, you're right, because, you know, Groove does the deck thing, and he says, because he and Marky, they both said to me, I can't do the CD thing because it's up here and I don't feel right, it doesn't feel the same. Yeah, it's funny. And then there's other people that just take to it.
It's like I was talking about, man. You know, riding the pitch and all that with the decks. You can't do that with CDs. You can't. They're loose and they're light. You know, Anyway, it's a lot whatever more you're work. Comfortable with. Put it that way.
You know, and you know, whatever suits you, man. Whatever rocks your boat. It's all good. Right, cause and effect.
Cause and effect, yes. This tune here, this was Ant and myself. We was doing crossing the T's, dotting the I's on Speed of Sound album, which was the first comp that Ram put together, and we needed one more track. and we're in the studio, and we're literally, I think we was mastering the next day or something like that, and we needed one more track, and we're like, okay, let's just throw together a track. And it's always in them moments when you're what's my favourite drum beat? Right. What's my favourite bass sound? What's my favourite sound in the sampler at the moment that we've got loaded up? Let's just make a tune. Let's bang one out. You know, let's like do a tune. You know, this intro, drop it, make sure it, and it's when it's natural like that, and you're just doing it because you know what you want to hear instead of, you know, getting too deep on it, that it just works. And we called it the act name Concept 2, but it should have been Origin Unknown, because we said the act name was Concept 2 because we only made it in a few hours. We thought it couldn't be, people wouldn't like it, you know. You've got them side because we didn't put enough effort in. You
just thought, right, do you know what, this is going to be a bit of a random one.
Exactly, but years and years later, it's the one that sort of everybody refers to.
How crazy is that?
I know.
That's all the best things are done like that.
They're all there, pretty much with us, yeah.
Anyway, listen, we're going to talk about the new lineup to your, you know, you got a whole stable of guys now coming out, some youngsters making some incredible stuff. Where Andy C is going to be moving on in the next couple of years.
Yep.
That's up next, the future. In the background, you can hear Cause and Effects. Got Andy C up in the house. This is how we do, man. It ain't no formalised business. We are just doing it off the top of our heads. Check this out. What a track. Sickness. Just talking off mic about you making tunes. Now, you have got an incredible back catalogue, and like everyone that plays old school will always play an Andy C track, whether it's, you know, or Origin Unknown, whether it's Valley of the Shadows or Dread Bass or No Reality or you know.
Well, we've got the tunes, the Ram trilogy tunes, you know, Shimon tunes with Shimon. I mean,
incredible, man.
Yeah,
it's been a while. Man? What is it that stopped you? Like, you know,
time flies very, very. You know, you got to turn around and check how quickly years have gone by, and you have to be totally dedicated in the studio. The story I was telling about, you know, just whipping this track together, like I was saying off air, the break for this tune comes off of a pirate radio recording on TDK 90 on an Alba sound system. You know, it's like, I like that break, I'm going to put it in a tune, and it just works.
And you can just do it then.
Yeah, I think nowadays, you know, the production bar has been raised and raised and raised and raised again. It's unreal.
People are like, boy, what's Andy doing?
Exactly. You know, you can't put a hissy tape break.
No, you can't ratchet it out
I don't know.
anymore,
Maybe that's the next lick.
Yeah,
maybe that's what I should do. Bring back the CDKs.
That's right. Well, I might do it first, actually.
But it's a case of being dedicated. So all the artists out there right now that are absolutely smashing it, them guys are so dedicated, right? I don't know where they find the time, because the amount of effort that it takes to first of all learn how to make tunes, and then learn how to mix them down at that quality and define your sound, as well as being an artist and going out there and performing at the weekends, as well as, you know, all the other stuff that goes with being an artist nowadays, with the promotions and, you know, everything.
It's so much, man.
It's so much, and it's so, you know, hats off to them, man, because they really, really put in hard work. So that's basically what it comes down to, is like finding a time, and really it's taking some time off. You know, you got to take some time out, and I do love DJing, so I find it very hard to take.
But don't you find
out.
Sometimes you have to sit around and look? You know, and sometimes they say smell the coffee. You know, sometimes you've got to look around and see what you got, because you live in the moment constantly.
Yeah, you do.
And I tell you another thing that happens, you don't always live in the present, because you're always thinking, I've got that gig to do next week, and before you know it, you're there.
I know.
And that makes time kind of like, you know, just go so quickly, man.
It does, because our diary, you know, the way that the
diary's
DJing
set
goes,
out,
the diary's set out. You know what you're doing in October, in November, and so you're always looking, and you're always thinking, yeah, I might get some time after that. But it's a case of like, you know, I'm buzzing right now, because, you know, the studio's had an upgrade. The vibe's there. The time has been set, so I am going in the studio, and I'm determined
famous last
to do
words,
some.
bro.
Famous last words. I've only been saying it for 10 years. But no,
exactly.
I'm serious. I'm really vibing, man. It feels fresh and exciting out there, man. So we're gonna go in.
We're talking about fresh and exciting now. You know, the whole camp. You really got a lot of real amazing stuff coming out, and albums for this year. What should everyone watch out for?
Well, we've got the Lodestar album coming up. Them guys are, you know, they're on amazing form at the moment. Yeah. They are just finishing up. I've got congratulations to Example becoming a father at the weekend.
Wicked.
So shout out to him and the wife, and you know, them guys are really on it, and they're doing some great stuff.
Yeah, man, I saw Lomax last week, actually, in Bristol.
Nick, yeah.
He's a lovely guy.
Yeah.
And he was saying it's taken them a while, but they've finally kind of got there.
They are there, and we've got, you know, all the artists that we've got, you know, it's like, we're so blessed to have so many artists around, you know, especially in, you know, now it's the 20th year of Ram this year.
Yeah.
So
wow.
to look what we've got lined up, it's like, you know, we're really excited, because we've been around a long time, but it still feels like we're at the beginning of something. You know what I mean? We're at the start of something, because we've got all these artists, and they're all looking to the future, and we're looking to expand and do the best by them. So we're not sort of resting on our laurels.
Of course you can't, man.
No. So it's exciting times ahead. So we're going to celebrate the 20 years, you know, in some shape or form. We're still formulating the plans, but they are very big plans. It's going to involve a big party, that's for sure.
Also, you've got a great team around you. You got your boys from back in the day.
Exactly.
Still with you, still working.
Exactly. You know, Ant back in the day, Shimon, Movement Fusion, man. Red One, you know, the management of the label is fantastic. Incredible. You know, Emma and Sarah and Ray in the office, you know, all the artists, you know, there's a huge team. You know, it's a huge team and a huge family that make Ram, you know, help it run on a day-to-day basis and help propel these artists. It's not, you know, it's not fly by night.
It's
definitely
not. Let's do it by numbers.
It started out that way, to be honest with you. Yeah, but, you know, as the years go by, you gain experience and you gain knowledge, and that is exciting in itself, you know, gaining experience and knowledge and putting it into practice and making it success of it.
I think the one great thing about jungle, drum and bass, or not even that, coming from the 90s, is that nobody had any idea where they were going to end up, you know.
Way.
No idea. You didn't even think about what you're going to be doing, because 2012 just seemed just the future. everyone thought there'd be cars.
That was a movie title.
Yeah, well, it was, wasn't it? And you'd be driving around like flying cars and stuff like that, which I'm really disappointed that never happened. Do you know what I'm saying? But 2012, that's what we was thinking, man. To think that we would be here talking about drum and bass.
Talking about drum and bass and Ramy's 20s. It's fantastic.
It's incredible.
It's been
stuff,
phenomenal,
man.
brother. And you've got to big up the likes of yourself and Groove for all the effort. Back in the day were inspirational.
Thank
man.
you very much.
Absolutely still are down the dance floor on Swerve on Wednesday.
Yeah,
to
man.
me,
and
anyway.
you're still booking me. Which is
come
great,
on, brother. Don't be silly, man.
It's still
the effort and the
it's
inspiration that you guys have put into the scene, and the fact that you've stuck with it all this way is absolutely incredible. I think everybody's really grateful for that.
Thank you very much, Andy. What a great note to end on. It's been an absolute pleasure having you in here. It's taken a while, but you know what? It's come at the right moment because we've got our last show ever next week, and I just had to have you on the show.
Thank you, mate. I've really enjoyed it.
Before we kind of went on to greener grass.
Easy.
Yeah, easy now. You know what I mean? It's all right. We ain't going to be around too long, I can say that. But anyway, listen, it's been a pleasure.
Beautiful.
On that bombshell.
I'm back at Music House already.
On that bombshell.
Excellent.
Tell us about the last track you're going to play.
I'm going to go out because I think this is a favourite of yours and mine, and pretty much everybody that has ever had a little bit of passion for D&B. This is R-Type by Joe, and this just...
Who is Joe?
Joe is Lime's, I don't know, other half of Slipmatt and Lime fame.
No way,
man. And this tune has not left my record box since the day I bought it, and it will continue.
It never will.
It never will. It is an all-time classic. It was so far ahead of its time, yet so current, yet so beautifully produced, yet raw. And yet it's got every element that you want from a D&B track.
And nothing has ever sounded like this tune.
No.
Even to this day, man.
Yeah.
Listen, Andy C, it's been an absolute pleasure. When you do the 20 years of Ram, get us down there, man.
Absolutely, bruv.
Do you know what I'm saying?
We'll be doing it,
Have fun in America.
Thank
Big
you.
up to all the guys, to all the team. Thank you very much, Andy C.
Thanks for having us, Fab.
Many thanks to Andy C. Great having Andy in there, some great stories. Of course, if you want to listen to that again or if you've caught the tail end and you've missed the rest of it, and you caught a bit of it and you didn't catch all of it, you can always go onto the BBC iPlayer, check out Fab and Groove, and you can listen to that whole show again. I'll tell you what, man, it's worth listening to. Absolutely wonderful. Also, I want to tell you about a doc that me and Groove done. It's called The Story of Fabio and Grooverider, the story of drum and bass. It goes out on 1Extra on Sunday, the 25th of March at 9 p.m. And it's basically me and Groove like talking about the whole journey of Fabio and Grooverider. Of course, Fabio and Grooverider aren't over. It's not like we're kind of dead and paying homage to us. Do you know what I'm saying? But it is just a really well put together, nice, really nice piece to sign us off with. I've got to send a big shout going out to Izzy, who made it all happen. And you can check that out next week or the week after, the 25th of March anyway, at 9 p.m. on 1Extra, Fabio and Grooverider. And it's deep. You know, we get deep. We get, you know, not the stuff we talk about normally on radio. You know, we talk about where we're coming from, you know, parents and stuff like that. It's all going to be good. So check that out, 25th of March, 9 p.m. Also, we have got the last show ever coming up next week. Fabio and Grooverider together, the last show after 13 years on Radio 1. So that's going to be special. Also, I've got to send special shout going out to Sarah Bailey, because I know you're listening, darling, and the last track's for you. And also to Lindsay, and also to everyone who's ever produced our show, like Phil Stocker, to Andy Worrell, to, you know, people back in the day that I can't even remember their names when we first started. Do you know what I'm saying? We've had, I think, 15 producers, and Pippa as well. A lot of love going out to Pippa. Mike Davis, who does the punk rock show, used to be our producer. Too many to mention. And my current team, who've been the best so far. Gotta say, they've been the best. No disrespect to anyone else, but they make me tea, and they do everything real proper. Many thanks to James and to Becky for, you know, making the last 3 months a pleasure. Anyway, enough of all that. I'm going to play the last track tonight. It's going to be the sound of Dillinja. It's called When Angels Fall. Remember, next week, Fabio and Grooverider, last show ever. See you then.
Trust on BBC Radio 1.
In new music we trust on BBC Radio 1.
trust us to bring you the best new music.
From across the UK and from around the world.
In new music we trust.
On BBC Radio 1.
Stop.
Now.
Let's go.
Many, many thanks to Phil Taggart for BBC introducing. Yes, it's the old school show, the final old school show ever. And we've got a big one tonight. We have the Executioner. The nine-time award-winning best DJ in drum and bass, Andy C, is coming up a little bit later. Can't wait for that. Old school all the way tonight. And we're kicking off with a classic, a killer.